Well, the World Cup has been and gone, but proper football returns on Wednesday evening for Manchester United as they prepare to host Burnley at Old Trafford, a high-flying Burnley side who are looking to cause United a huge amount of problems and hopefully going through to the next round for Vincent Kompany's men. But for Manchester United, hopefully we can do a professional job and get over the line. Before we get talking anything to do with that Carabao Cup game, please do, as usual, hit that like button if you do enjoy the content and do enjoy what we're doing here. And also subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. And if you're watching on the video, as usual, please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I really do enjoy reading all of your comments, so please do leave them down there and I'll respond to all of you. So, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate everyone who is tuning in, especially after the month and a bit hiatus we had for the World Cup. What a World Cup it was. I won't dwell on it too much because I know we're talking about Man United right now, but an unbelievable World Cup with an unbelievable finish. Lionel Messi getting his World Cup in the end, and what a final it was as well. You have to feel for Kylian Mbappe, a World Cup hat-trick and not coming away with the ultimate prize. You've got to feel for him, but I'm sure he'll be back on the big stage in no time. But talking about the big stage, the Carabao Cup under the lights at Old Trafford, that's the big stage we're talking about. And we're going to start with Burnley because Burnley, as I said at the start, are high flying this season, top of the championship, looking very much the favourites to go up this season to win the championship. Unbelievable season so far. Recently beat Michael Carrick's side, Middlesbrough, 3-1. And they're looking very, very hot this season, I've got to say. They're looking very dangerous. And a side which we should not underestimate, and I think, especially with Manchester United's form going into the World Cup, underestimating any side is do it at your peril, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Burnley are a very, very solid team. A few familiar faces obviously only went down last season, I think it was. So, actually, there's still quite a few of their players they had when they're in the Premier League, the likes of Connor Roberts, Jay Rodriguez as well. Some big names, Goodmanson, Jack Cork. So they're a similar side to the one they were in the Premier League, but under Vincent Kompany, they have really gone from strength to strength. And as I said, they look to be favourites to win the championship and come up to the Premier League at the first time of asking. Of course, it's a bit of a weird time for Burnley because it's the post Sean Dyche era, and he's given a huge amount of service to that club, and I think a lot of people felt it was going to be a bit of a transitional period after Dyche left, but right now they're absolutely flying high. Still a decent way of the season to go, of course, but they look like they're going to be heading back to the Premier League next season, which, depending on your outlook, I don't know if you think that's a good thing or not. Let me know in the live chat. But for me, I think Burnley have always been a tough team to beat, regardless of whether in the Premier League or the Championship. And this season, they are high flying and flying high on confidence, especially with the form they're showing. I think their last defeat was away to Sheffield United, which was, I think, like 5-6 games ago. So, this season they've been absolutely unbelievable in the Championship, and they will be looking to cause an upset at Old Trafford. Don't you worry about that, especially with the fact that a lot of our players were on World Cup duty. They were able to keep a lot of their players at Turf Moor in Burnley. So they've been playing together for the last couple of weeks since they returned. I think they did take a little break, to be fair, when the World Cup was playing, but they came back a couple of weeks before United are going to play, which is obviously on Wednesday night or tomorrow, depending when you're watching this. So, it's big. It's big, and I think they're very well placed to cause United a lot of problems. And I think, obviously, you can't say they're the favourites coming into this game. I think, whilst I personally am very, very afraid of this Burnley side. I still think that United would probably be made the bookies' favourite going into this game. But with United's pre-season results, I mean, the Real Betis game, um, and I think two defeats in the Spanish training camp, which wouldn't have really been what Ten Hag had in mind when we went out there. Obviously, we had a lot of players at the World Cup and not available, so it wasn't our full strength squad by any means. But you would be expecting a lot better, really. So it's only friendlies and it's only about getting minutes in the legs, but in terms of the form, that's really all we can go off. United obviously won their last Premier League game, which was about a month and a half ago against Fulham, a 94th, 5th minute winner, 3rd minute winner, I believe, actually, from Alejandro Garnacho. Just about gave us all 3 points in that one. But previous to that, we'd obviously lost to Aston Villa 3-1. So it'd been a bit of a torrid time. It'd been a bit of a struggle for Manchester United up until that Fulham game where we got a massive win. And it is a massive win, especially when you look at our top four hopes. So it's going to be very difficult. I think, as I said, underestimate this Burnley side at your peril. They're going to be high on confidence. Vincent Company as well, former Man City, arguably a Man City legend, coming back to Old Trafford. He's going to want to do some damage as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game indeed. I think it'll be a good one for the neutral. Not sure about United fans, but it'll be a very good one for the neutral. Connor, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Check out Yank Talking Smack if you haven't already. He's saying 3-1 to Burnley. Sorry, 3-1 to United. Yeah, sorry. I just saw you create yourself there. But yeah, 3-1 United, I would take that in a heartbeat. Honestly, a win here is all we need in knockout football. We saw in the World Cup just how many upsets there were. Hopefully that doesn't continue in the club football because I really do think that we need to start winning trophies. And I know that sounds really obvious. Oh, yeah, of course, Kieran, we need to start winning trophies. But even if it's the Carabao Cup, I know a lot of people dismiss the Carabao Cup as a trophy which is a bit of a Mickey Mouse trophy. No one really cares about it. But when you've been on a trophy drought as long as we have, any trophy is welcomed. And to win the Carabao Cup would be huge, especially for Ten Hag as the new manager coming in. So I really, really do hope we can win the Carabao Cup, and I think it's a big chance for us, especially with the squad depth that we've got. So I think we need to take it seriously, and I know that Ten Hag is going to take it seriously, and that's why when you see my predicted lineup, I'm going to go with a fairly strong team. And we'll get into that in just a second, actually. And as I said, I agree with Connor. A cup is a cup, and as I said, when you've been on a trophy drought as long as we have, beggars cannot be choosers. Trust me. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Burnley, of course, a very, very strong team. But let's talk about Manchester United. I mentioned the few pre-season or, well, kind of pre-Christmas season, second half of the season friendlies, if you like, didn't really go according to plan for United. Obviously, we played a lot of our under-23s, under-21s, youngsters, effectively, and it gave them good minutes and probably minutes that they weren't going to get this season in the first team. So in some ways, it was a bit of a blessing for them that this World Cup came along, so they could actually get some game time with the first team, train with them, play against some higher opposition. So, I mean, I'm sure it was a good opportunity for them. Obviously, the results didn't go our way, but when you're playing these sort of games, the results aren't really the things that matter too much. It's more about just getting minutes in the legs and making sure we're fit enough. But going into this game, it's one of those ones where as I said, the form going into it isn't brilliant, but hopefully we do get those players back from the World Cup that were knocked out in the kind of round of 16 quarterfinal stage. I did read somewhere that 10 of United's players have come back and have started training again, but that was only today. So I think it's still uncertain whether a lot of those players are going to take part, or if they do take part, what sort of part they will play in the game. Maybe they come off the bench. But I'll give you my predicted lineup actually. Box, thanks for joining. Merry Christmas to you. Obviously, a couple of days left, but Merry Christmas, Box. Hope you all you have a good Christmas this year, and I hope everyone watching has a good Christmas this year as well. But let's get my predicted lineup out. Let's not waste any time. This is what I'm going with, and this is a mixture of the players that have come back from the World Cup and players that were playing on our pre-season tour. So let me know what you guys think about it. I've gone with De Gea in goal. I've gone with Luke Shaw and Maguire. I've gone with the English lads being able to play in this game. And again, that one is a little bit up in the air. We don't know if Ten Hag is going to play players that have come back from the quarterfinals. But, for me, I think he will look to play a fairly strong lineup. And he will see this as a big opportunity to win a trophy. So I think he's going to go fairly strong. So I have gone with Shaw Maguire. I've gone with Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka, who stayed behind. Obviously, didn't get selected for their teams, that didn't play at the World Cup. Simple as that, because obviously Sweden weren't in it. So Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. Then I've gone with McTominay and Van der Beek as well. I know Casemiro's come back. Bruno Fernandes has come back as well. But I just feel like probably um, as those two players have played I keep calling it pre-season, as those two players have played the kind of World Cup friendlies, I think he will stick them in there from the start. Same with Alanga as well. Alanga obviously has been here the whole time. I have put Eriksen in there just because Eriksen obviously came back from Denmark fairly early, unfortunately for him, in the after the group stages. So he's had a decent amount of time there. And then I've gone with Garnacho on the right hand side with Anthony Martial up front. What we saw in the friendlies as well. If any of you guys watched the friendlies, Garnacho and Martial play together. Martial was the number 9 starter usually. So that's what I've gone with. Let me know what your thoughts on that are. Am I going too strong? Am I going too weak? Would you play anyone different? Let me know in the live chat and also the comment section down below. Box reckons only Burnley play the kids and Fred. Well, I think Fred could start. It depends what Ten Hag thinks about the amount of time he's had between coming back from Qatar, and whether he thinks some of these players need to start on the bench. To be fair, fitness shouldn't be too much of a worry considering they've had a pretty grueling World Cup campaign. So you think fitness wouldn't be too much of a worry with these players, but I just wonder. But maybe play a few more young players in there. Maybe put a few more young players in there. But I just feel like it's going to go back to a fairly, let's get the lineup back up. But I think it's just going to go back to a fairly senior squad. And as I said, it's not our best squad by any stretch of the imagination. Talking about imagination, it lacks imagination really. Obviously Garnacho and Martial are fairly decent, but Eriksen, Alanga, it's not the most dynamic squad we've ever put out. But it's one of those things where you know beggars can't be choosers, needs must, all that sort of thing. So, and also I do think we need to try and go as strong as we possibly can with the players that are available because in my mind, and as I said, you guys might disagree, I believe this is a massive opportunity for Manchester United to win a trophy. The Carabao Cup is a cup. It doesn't matter, whether people think it's a bit of a Mickey Mouse trophy. I would understand that a bit more if we weren't on a kind of 8-9 season trophy drought, or a not 8-9 season trophy drought, but we've been on a fairly long trophy drought for Man United standards. So, we're not owed any sort of trophy. We're not owed anything. And I think we need to, play the team that's going to earn that. And, that's why I feel like we have to go as strong as possible. We can't disrespect this competition. Box goes with Dubravka, Williams, Lindelof, McTominay, Gerardo. Good. He's not bad. Savage, Iqbal, Van der Beek, Eriksen, Garnacho, and Martial. I watched I watched both of the friendlies. I kind of watched as much as I could of them. I can't say I watched the whole friendlies, but I did watch one of the second halves where the whole team changed for a bit of an under-23 squad. And listen, we've obviously seen Zidane, Iqbal, and Charlie Savage in the Europa League, and I wouldn't be adverse to it. As I said, personally, if I was going to predict what Ten Hag was going to do, I don't think he's going to look to play a kind of kids 11 or play a lot of the young players. But we'll wait and see. Maybe some of the kids impressed him, and obviously it's brilliant for Manchester United if we do see some of the young players. But I just feel like Ten Hag is going to go fairly strong. Williams, obviously, Dubravka. Dubravka is the one which I probably would look at changing from our lineup. I think, David De Gea, of course, played in the friendlies, but Dubravka, if we're not going to play him in these sort of games, then what was the point in buying him? Let's be honest, it feels like a bit of a stupid transfer. And I think there was already rumours that he was going to go back to Newcastle after this loan move. So in January, I should say. So we'll see. We'll see. Box says, bring on McGill, Mainu, Gore, Hansen, Aaron, and Hugel. Yeah, I felt like Mainu really did impress me, and maybe that's a bit of a kind of mainstream opinion, and I know there's a lot of hype about Mainu, but he did impress me. I thought he looked wise beyond his years in terms of how he played, and I think he will play a part for Man United in the future. I really, really do. He looked very good, so I wouldn't mind seeing him. I wouldn't mind seeing Mainu get some minutes because what I've seen of him has been absolutely fantastic. So out of all those, I'd probably look at playing Mainu, to be fair. But Hansen Aaron, to be fair, had a lot of game time in the friendlies, and hopefully that'll stand him in good stead. But let's get into my score prediction. It's very, very difficult to predict these sort of lineups, especially when we've had a month's break and we don't know who's available and who's not. So my lineup could be 50% incorrect. It could be 60% incorrect. It could be absolutely bang on. Who knows? But what we do know and what we can predict is the scoreline. And for me, I think it's going to be a very, very tricky game. I think it's going to be a game at which there's a high percent likelihood will be caught cold early. I think Burnley obviously have played in the last couple of weeks. They've had a bit more game time as a team under their belt, and whilst match fitness shouldn't be an issue, um, I do think we need to be careful. We need to start well, and we need to make sure Burnley don't get on top of us because they will be high on confidence and they will want to really cause an upset as well. And I feel like they will have the belief to do that. And as I said, Vincent Company for Man City, coming back to Old Trafford to hopefully do one over United. He'll be absolutely revving those boys up as well. So it's going to be a really, really tough game. Um, and part of me does think that it might go to penalties, which is not something that United fans want to hear. I mean, we've got a terrible penalty record, a horrific penalty record. But I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw in normal time. It goes to penalties, and United emerge victorious on penalties. That's what I'm going to say. We're going to break the penalty streak. 1-1 in normal time, penalties, and I honestly think it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be a very, very tricky game. Um, and the fact that we probably don't have our full strength side with Martinez, obviously in Argentina, celebrating his World Cup win. Congratulations to him. Another Manchester United World Cup winner. And Varane, of course, is not with us. So we don't have our um, first choice centre back pairing. And, we've got a few injuries. And obviously, we haven't really played together as a squad for a month and a half. So, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But I'm going to go with 1-1 in normal time. Man United win on penalties. I hope it doesn't get to that. I hope we can do the job in normal time. But I do think it's going to be such a tough game. Burnley are going to be so, so on it. I'm telling you, they're going to be so on it. We have to expect a very, very difficult game of football. So that's what I'm going with. 1-1 normal time. United to win it on penalties. Let me know your predictions and thoughts in the live chat and the comment section as well down below. Newcastle just scored apparently. There is some Carabao Cup action going on at the moment. We may as well update you guys if you're watching live on any of the Carabao Cup results happening right now. Southampton 2-1 up on Lincoln. Leicester battering MK Dons. Newcastle 1-0 up on Bournemouth. Wolves Gillingham still 0-0, so still hope for the Gills in that one. But it looks like the Premier League sides are going through at the moment. But Wolves Gillingham still in the balance, so maybe we'll see a twist in that one. But as I said, I'm going with 1-1. Connor went with 3-1 United in his prediction, and I think it's a really positive prediction. I wouldn't even go that far, but I like the positivity. I like the fact Connor's confident. But as I said, I'm really expecting a difficult game. Really, really am expecting a difficult game. I think Burnley, they're going to be sharp. They're going to be very, very sharp and high on confidence as well. So, as I said, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw and a win for United on penalties. Matthew said I'm currently on the TV. Well, thank you very much for putting me on the TV. Hello, guys, watching in the front room. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm probably going to end it pretty soon anyway. But thanks for joining, Matthew. Appreciate it. Apparently, Wolves have scored as well. Jimenez. So just as I was talking, Gillingham go 1-0 down. I apologise to any Gillingham fans. I've just jinxed your result there. But anyway, we're heading up to the 20-minute mark, and I'm probably going to end it there. But any last thoughts, any last questions, please do leave them in the live chat. And Carabao Cup for me, I'll end it on this actually. The Carabao Cup for me is a big opportunity for Manchester United to win a trophy. I think we can't pass this up, and I know a few of you in the chat have been suggesting we play a bit of a weakened side, maybe play a few of the kids. But I really do think this is a massive opportunity for us to get a trophy. Beggars can't be choosers. The last trophy we won was the Europa League under Jose Mourinho, and there's been 3 managers since then. So we really can't be we can't be choosy. We can't be choosy, and we have to really focus on this, in my opinion. And I think for Ten Hag, it's massive that he breaks that trophy doubt. So hopefully we do see a strong lineup, and hopefully we can get through this game. But Burnley are going to be a very, very tough test. But on that note, thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy the video, hit that like button. Leave your thoughts as well if you're watching on the replay in the comment section down below. I really do enjoy reading all of your comments, so please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. But thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.